This would be the biggest buy in Pawn Stars history. This is it.
The Harrison family didn't keep the pawn shop afloat all these years with small, safe purchases. The shop is known for taking big risks and hopefully pulling in big rewards. So today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the rarest and the most valuable items that the Harrison family have come across in Pawn Stars history. But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First, we're going to look at 4 1-kilo gold bars, valued at $128,000. In Pawn Stars, they don't always purchase high-dollar items that find their way into the shop. These 4 gold bars, however, were too good to pass up. They looked like buried treasure brought from a Hollywood action film. Now, you might have held a gold bar before, but it's definitely a rare find for the Harrison boys, so buying them was a no-brainer. This is one of their biggest purchases ever, and the Harrisons made a very profitable deal. They bought the gold bars, then quickly sold them for $128,000, which is about $32,000 for each one. Gold value only increases over time, and today, you should be able to get around $55,000 for 1 kilogram of gold. If you ever get the chance to snag yourself a gold bar like these boys have, then it could be worth holding on to. Next, we have a silver coin that's more valuable than 4 kilos of gold. Rare coins are among the items that Rick totally loves and gets excited when he finds them. One day, a collector named John brought in the Ides of March, a Roman coin, which was at least 2,000 years old. John himself got it from another collector back in the mid-80s, and he knew exactly what he was in possession of. When he was asked to make a deal, he said he wanted $150,000 for the coin. An Ides of March coin from the time of Julius Caesar seemed like the sort of thing a scammer would invent before being laughed out of a room full of historians. SG Les Paul guitar at $150,000. Guitars have always been one of the more valuable items to come through most pawn shops. Gibson's Les Paul signature guitars can cost a pretty penny as they are, but when they date back to the rock era and have a connection with a legendary songwriter whose name is on the instrument, they're worth quite a bit more. The seller brought this beautiful vintage Gibson in the shop and explained that it belonged to his Aunt Mary, who was wife to Les Paul. Paul was a legendary guitarist, songwriter, and inventor. He was one of the pioneers of the solid-body electric guitar, and his style and inventions served as inspiration for modern-day electric guitars. Mary Ford herself was a very popular singer in the 1950s, duetting with Les. After an expert confirmed the value of it to be close to $150,000, a deal was made. Rick paid $90,000 for this valuable piece of music history, leaving both sides quite satisfied. Next, we have the original Where the Wild Things Are artwork. Over the years, Pawn Stars continues to grow, and so does Rick's bank account. He decided to make some cool deals for his shop and started traveling to private sellers and local dealers to make offers on extremely rare and unique items worth a ton of money. Eventually, Rick came across something he couldn't help but have. Maurice Sendak's picture book, Where the Wild Things Are, which has always been a favorite of young children because of the imagination and spirit. The illustrations are a huge part of the book's success, and when a dealer approached Rick with original artwork from the book, he could not resist to check it out right away. As it turned out, the book was Rick's longtime favorite. It was the greatest book ever written, he told the dealer in that episode. When I was a kid, I was fascinated by the pictures. It was so different from any other children's book. Rick managed to steal this super rare item for $250,000, which was $100,000 lower than the dealer's original price. Next up is JFK's cigar humidor. It's not every day that you come across a cigar humidor belonging to a former president. John F. Kennedy was one of the most respected and admired American presidents. So, if you're lucky enough to have his pre-owned box of cigars in your hands, seize the moment. Needless to say, Pawn Stars knows how to act in situations like this. They instantly knew they'd make the deal. It was hard to determine the cost of this item, but Rick was sure this item had great value, so he offered the seller $60,000 to get a piece of presidential history and got the deal. Recently, another similar humidor was sold for $575,000, making Rick's $60,000 offer look like chump change. Next on the list is Jimi Hendrix's 1963 Fender Stratocaster guitar. One of the most amazing items to ever come into the shop was Jimi Hendrix's 1963 Fender Stratocaster electric guitar. Although his mainstream career lasted only 4 years, Jimi Hendrix is widely regarded as one of the most influential guitarists in history and one of the most celebrated musicians of the 20th century. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame describes him as the greatest instrumentalist in the history of rock music. I think it's obvious that one can hardly find a more valuable instrument than Hendrix's guitar itself, since it's such an iconic piece of music history. It was not hard to identify the guitar as real, because the serial number printed on its back proves that it's actually a documented Jimi Hendrix played guitar. When the owner brought it into the shop, he knew it had a ton of value, but still was blown away when the guitar expert revealed that it was worth between $750,000 to $1 million. That was one of the coolest moments turned into one of the ugliest. Despite its estimated value, Rick offered him $500,000 right out of the gate. It was almost an insulting offer for something that should fetch close to $1 million. Harrison's next offer was $600,000, but the owner knew it was not even close to fair and walked away with it firmly in his grasp. Coming in next is the Beatles' original contract. When it comes to music, the Beatles are one of the greatest musical groups of all time. Even after several decades, they are still very popular and beloved all around the world. They have sold 600 million albums and have had 20 Billboard #1 hits since they decided to form the group nearly 6 decades ago. But none of that would have happened without an official built in 1989 by Doug Mailwicki, and it starred in the made-for-TV movie Steel Justice in 1992. It almost even got its own series on